my bosom friends. This is Courtney, and I am with my new friend, Fiona.
Hello.
And if you're new, if you don't know who we are, my name is Courtney. I am the founder of Breastfeeding by Court. And Fiona, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so I'm Fiona. I own a business called Hypno, so I teach hypnobirthing classes, and I'm also a doula. And I have 5 kids. I've been married for 12 years. What else? Oh, I sing.
You sing?
Yeah, I'm part of a choir.
That's cool.
Chamber choir, yeah. And
That's awesome.
I actually get paid to sing this fall with Ballet West, which is awesome.
You
so
do?
excited. Yes!
So you get to see like all the Nutcracker and that kind of stuff? Or
not
no?
the Nutcracker. The ballet is Carmina Burana.
Oh,
so, yeah,
very cool.
But I get to be on the stage singing, which is really awesome.
So if you're going to the ballet, look for Fiona in the back. That's awesome. Well, thank you everybody for joining. And so today we're going to talk about breast augmentation. And Fiona actually had breast augmentation a couple years ago. Mm-hmm. And she's going to talk openly and honestly about her experience and what it was like. Because a lot of women, I feel like, they want to get breast augmentation, but they don't know what to expect. They're scared. They want a real woman's perspective on what happens. And so I'm going to interview her and ask her some questions about her experience and what it was like. And at the end, if you have questions throughout the interview, please leave a comment and I'll try my best to go through them and we'll ask Fiona those questions. And yeah, anybody, let's see who's here. We have a lot of people here. I'm excited. I can't. Well, if you guys saw our little get up, like it's pretty ghetto. I'm gonna move the string down so you can see my face real quick. Sorry, I guess I can't move it. Never mind. Okay. So we're gonna get started. So Fiona, tell us. So what year was it that you got your breast augmentation?
It was November 2014, so almost 3 years ago.
3 years ago. Mm-hmm. Okay. So what made you decide to get your breast augmentation? Tell us kind of back.
Okay, so if you go way back, as a girl, I remember like always looking forward to like having breasts. Like I felt like that, like I'd be a woman, and like I used to like put socks in my bra.
I think everybody did that. I did that too when I was in junior high. Yeah, I totally did that.
And like one time I even like stuffed my bra with tissues like at school, and like they came out the bottom of my shirt, and I was like super embarrassed anyway. But yeah, so like I remember reading an article, and I just never, like, all my friends were getting boobs and I just never got it, and I was just like, okay, whatever. So my mom would buy me like padded bras, and like and then I remember reading an article that said like for women your breasts grow the most between the ages of like 18 and 25 or something, which I had never heard before. So I was like so excited because here I'm like a 16-year-old girl. I'm like, yes, I'm finally gonna get boobs. I just have to wait till like I'm in college. And then I went to college and I still didn't get boobs, and they just like, I was like maybe an A cup, probably not even. It was probably like a double A cup. Anyway. But they were like a little perky, like they looked cute. So like it wasn't a huge issue. But I did tell my husband when we were when we were engaged, I was like, just so you know, like someday this is on my list of like things that I want to do.
And let's see, whatever. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. And so then it was kind of like I started having kids, and I wanted to see what would happen after I had kids, because there were so many women who told me, oh, don't worry, once you like have kids and like breastfeed, you'll have boobs, they'll grow, and when you're pregnant. And they did grow a little bit when I was pregnant, and a lot when my milk came in. I was like a C cup, and I was like, oh, this is awesome. Like, this is what boobs are like. Okay. And then as soon as I was done breastfeeding my first 3 kids, they just went like, guys, like smaller, like even smaller than what they had been before. And I was so depressed. And then like, because of the breastfeeding, my nipples were like, so,
like, kind of flat pancakes.
Hang down, and like point at the floor. And I was like, what? This is not good. And like, to be totally honest and frank, I hated my chest. I hated it. I didn't ever want to take my bra off in front of my husband. Like, it was just like, don't touch him. Don't, like, I just felt like a boy, and I just hated it. And so we had like a super great year at work. We had some extra money, and I was like, okay, what is that an option now? Like, is this something that I want to do? And so I started looking into it, and my husband was so supportive, but he would never tell me like yes or no. He was like, you decide for you, and I'm on board either way. Like, I love you just the way you are. You don't have to do this for me. You have to do it for you. And I'm so glad he did that, because if he had even like tried to sway me one way or the other, like that could probably have affected how I felt about it afterward.
Yeah.
And so, I just was like, okay, I'm going to do it. And did all my research, and like, finally I was like, started meeting with doctors, and that's when it like got really real. And it was like scary but exciting at the same time. Mm-hmm. So that's
the story. Okay. So it's been almost 4 years?
Three.
Almost 3 years since you've had him. Okay. And so what was there, like, did you have like any negative perceptions about breast augmentation surgery before you got it done, or did you have negative perceptions about received it before you got it?
Personally. I felt like, because I wanted them done, I was like, and I knew why I was doing it, and I felt like I was doing it for good reasons. Mm-hmm. And so like for me it was fine, but it was like I was always worried about what other people thought. And even like telling my own mom, I was nervous to tell her because I didn't know how she would react. And but most of the people that I talked to, like my friends, were super duper supportive. And actually, it was just kind of funny because as I was like opening up to people about it, I found out that a lot of my close friends already had them. And I had no idea.
Like, welcome to the club.
Like, oh yeah, it's great. You're gonna love it. And I'm like, okay. So then I started to feel better about it. One of my biggest like concerns going into it was, am I gonna feel like, am I being vain, and is this gonna change who I am as a person, like morally, and like, because there's always like internal like conversations that you have with yourself. And when I knew like some of the women that like started talking to me about it, like these were like good women that like serve people, and they're wonderful, happy, confident, and like, and that didn't change them. And so that's when I started to realize like, okay, I need to not worry about that, because it's not going to change who I am as a person, other than just to make me feel more like confident about myself.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people, I mean, I love the whole like movement, love yourself no matter what, and I think that's great. But I feel like for some women, and I've had several people ask me like, what do you think about breast augmentation and breast reductions? And I always tell people that what I am for both of them. I think it depends on each woman. Some women are okay with what they have and they feel confident, and then some women struggle with that. And I feel like, with our technology and everything, I think it's a great thing for women to have and an option. And, if you feel like you would be, more confident, feel happier, be able to fill out your clothes better, and it would just help you take a huge stress off of your life, then I say go for it. I think it's totally good, and I don't think, I think it's great. And one of the good things on the bra fitting side of it, when you get augmented, is that bras fit a lot easier. Like, pretty much every single type of bra fits you. It's like, it's like, I tell my augmented clients that once you get augmented, they're like the easiest people to fit, because they're just the perfect shape. They're not less full. Like, they're a lot of women, after they breastfeed and they lose weight, they lose a lot of volume off the top of their breast. And so it's harder to find bras that fit them, that they tend to be too full up here. But when you're augmented, it's really easy to fit any type of bra. So that's one really good thing about being augmented, is that it's really easy to find bras that fit you, because pretty much everything fits you. Yep. Because you're pretty much the perfect shape. So that's awesome. Okay. So the other question I had is, what did you wish you would have known before your breast surgery? Was there anything that you were like, oh, like that was kind of crappy?
Yeah, I wrote these down because I knew that I would. This is a question that I always am like, I don't know. So I got mine done in November, and it was starting to be freezing cold in Utah. It's like super. Yeah, I'm sure most people watching are in Utah. Probably. So anytime I would go out, just buy, if you're gonna do it in the winter, which is a great time to do it, because that gives you like time to
like over the holiday
to drop and stuff during the winter, and then when you're ready for bathing suit season, you look really good, Yeah. So, but just get like a really warm coat, because every time I go outside and start shivering, it's like it affects your chest muscles. They're right under your chest muscles, and so like they'd be like, ugh, and then it would hurt.
Oh, really? So it like make you freeze, like it would freeze.
Because of the muscle spasms in your chest when you're cold. Okay. Yeah, so that was one thing I had no idea about.
Okay, I've never heard of that. But that's good to know. That's good to know.
Or put like a little warmer thing, inside.
Or like those little hand warmers.
Yes, those would be awesome.
Okay, that's awesome.
And then, so if you're like a super duper heavy workout person, so I'm more cardio, but I do weight train sometimes. You're just going to need to know if you go under the muscle, the implants actually go like this whenever you like do a push-up or something. Like use your pec, because your pec muscles are actually, and they're kind of like half under your pec muscles and half not. So like the implant actually will like shift. And that's normal. Okay. It just kind of freaked me out the first time that I
So are yours under the muscle?
Mine are under the muscle. Yeah.
Okay.
And if you want me to talk about why I chose that.
I would love to have you talk about that.
So the reason I went under the muscle is because I knew I wanted to have at least one more baby, and I actually had 2 more since then. But he said it's it's less likely to affect breastfeeding if you go under the muscle, and it's also less likely for you to have capsular contracture, which is one of the complications that can happen.
And what is that? Can you explain what that is?
It's where the capsule, so your body forms a capsule around the implant because it's a formed object.
Oh, okay.
And so you're going to have to do massages and take like vitamin E to like help keep those really soft.
Okay.
But there is a complication where they can harden up. And it actually can be painful, and it just makes your boobs really hard. So wanted to avoid that.
Yeah.
So went under the muscle for that. And then, I mean, that's not to say that it still couldn't happen, but it just lowers your risk for some reason. They don't even know why, but it's just a lower risk for that. And then the third reason is because I had such little breast tissue. I was worried about rippling or seeing a ridge. A really obvious ridge of an implant. So going under the muscle gives more of a natural look if you don't already have breast tissue to kind of cover and kind of smooth it out.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's even more important if you go with saline, because those get ripply. The silicone ones are less likely.
So you have silicone, right? Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, so going back to what I wish I'd known. So they aren't going to be perfect, and that's really important to know. My doctor told me that over and over again. Is you're going to look at them and you're going to spend more time looking at them than anybody else, even your husband, you know, because you're going to stand there in the mirror and be like, okay, this is off and this. So they're not going to be perfect. And I think if you go into it knowing that they're never going to be perfect and just accept that, then it's fine. You know, then you're like, okay. But if you're sitting there going, okay, I'm going to have perfect boobs, and then something's slightly off, then you're going to be disappointed. So
was there something that wasn't perfect with yours that you felt like?
I mean, just little things. Like, sometimes I'm like, okay, the nipple's not quite centered, you know, or like, it's like slightly off.
Yeah.
And then like the scars, you know, sometimes I'm like, oh, I wish that I couldn't see my scars so much, but it's like overall, and I actually got 2 different sizes of implants because I have scoliosis in my spine, which makes my chest, like one side of my chest comes out farther than the other, and so it made my boobs look like different sizes. So to kind of, what's the word?
Counteract that.
Yeah, to counteract that, they put 2 different sizes.
Interesting. That's cool.
Yeah, so like, but my body's not perfect, and my boobs are not going to be perfect. They don't need to be twins, you know, they're sisters. So like, I just think it's really important to go into it expecting that it's going to be not exactly perfect. When you first get them in, like the first couple weeks, you're going to hear like little squeaking sounds.
Oh!
Nobody told me that.
That's cool.
And I was like lifting my arms to put my shirt on, and I was like, squeak!
Like, it's kind of like, have you ever had bras that like made noises? Like, I've had bras that when you move, it like makes noises. Yeah. So kind of like the same thing, right? Okay.
And it doesn't last. It's just like little air bubbles that like work their way out after surgery, I guess. But it's just really funny when it happens. You're like, oh my gosh, that
like, sound. Is that mean that they're going to fall out or pop or?
No. Okay. It's just normal.
Okay.
And then for me personally, Percocet is like a terrible drug for me. And I guess I didn't really know that. I think I'd had it maybe one time before. But so like the first day and a half after surgery, because I was on the Percocet, I was really emotional and like it just affected me a lot. And once I got off the Percocet, I was much better. So be prepared that it could, like, what they call it, like, boob regret, that some women get that in the first, like, couple days after surgery. And it's probably because of the drugs that you're on. And
you're probably exhausted and emotional. Yeah. It's an emotional thing.
Yeah, it is. So, I mean, that's totally normal. And, like, after I was off the heavy drugs and just, like, on ibuprofen, like...
You felt a lot better.
Yeah.
That's good to know. That's really... Is there anything else that you wanted to share?
That's
pretty much it? Yeah. Those are some awesome... I've never even heard of any of those. Those are some really good tips. And I just want to remind you guys, if you have questions, please write your comment below and we'll make sure to ask Fiona that question. So the next question I wanted to ask you is... so this, you kind of went into this a little bit, but like, did you how was the pain? I know a lot of people are scared about the pain. So tell us about what your pain experience was.
So for me, because I'd previously breastfed 3 babies, and I'd gone through the pain of breastfeeding and being engorged and having sore nipples.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I would compare it to. Like, it's really not, it's not as terrible as, I think for someone who'd never breastfed, it might be like, they'd be like, whoa, this is, you know, really painful. But like, I was going, oh, it just feels like I'm engorged and like sore, you know, and you're going to be sore for, I'm trying to remember, at least probably like a week, you know, and by the end of the first week, I was feeling like really pretty much back to normal, except for when I would use my arms, my pet muscles. And yeah, like any chest or arm. Yeah, it's just kind of like the first time I drove, I remember like just like grabbing the steering wheel. I was like, oh, that kind of doesn't feel very good. But
did you feel like, because I've had some women say that when they get their implants in, like they feel like because their skin is not used to something that large in it, they feel like it's gonna like rip, like their skin chest is gonna burst open.
Well, my skin is really elastic anyway. Just like from breastfeeding before, like I don't have any stretch marks or anything from that. So I think my body, because it had already gone through that process a few times, like I mean, it was tight, the skin was tight for a little while, but mine actually settled really quickly. From what I understand, sometimes it takes a long time, and they do give you like a strap that you have to wear on top of them to like keep them down. Yeah, but I only had to wear that for like a week.
Talk to us a little bit more about the dropping part of after you get your
so
your implants.
What happens is, like, when they put it in, it's going to be like, you know, high. They're going to seem like high, like almost up in your neck. And then over time, the implant gravity, it drops into the pocket. So the surgeon actually makes like a little pocket and kind of closes it off.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And then it'll drop down into the pocket. And so like, you know, you'll have a lot of volume up here at first, and then over time they'll kind of soften and fall down into the pocket, and then you get that really nice like sloped look with like, you know, more fullness on the bottom. And it, you know, it's supposed to take like up to a couple of months, I think, for that to happen, but mine kind of just went right down into the pocket.
I know one thing that I hear a lot of women say when I fit them is that they, you know, doctors put you in like a surgical bra, and you can't wear an underwire for a certain amount of time. Would you want to tell us about how long did you have to wear a surgical bra?
Well, they told me it was going to be 6 weeks. But when I went back for my, I think it was a 2-week checkup, he was like, "Oh, everything looks like it's settled, you know, where it's going to be pretty much. So you're cleared for whatever bra, you know." And I was like, awesome. So I did go, like, I went and got some non-underwire bras right off the bat. And then use those until they cleared me to be able to wear underwire. Yeah. And he did say that it's better to sleep in a bra, you know, than not, just to kind of support them and prevent like your pockets from opening
while you're recovering, right?
Well, all the time. And so I do always sleep in a bra, like a soft, it doesn't have to be like an underwire, but just like a soft sleep bra. Yeah.
That's it, because I always, people ask me, you know, do you recommend wearing a bra when sleeping? And I say, you know, it depends. I mean, I don't, because I don't like, I think they're uncomfortable. Yeah. But for some women who, I know that some women who are larger cup size, they like to, they feel like it just helps them keep them in place. So that's it. Yeah, that's good to know.
And I'm going to do, like, anything that my surgeon recommended, you know, to keep them looking good, I'm going to do.
And that's the thing is, like, probably people don't realize that there's probably upkeep.
Yeah.
Right? Like, can you tell us about what it's like the upkeep with them?
So it's funny because I've had people tell me that their surgeons said that they didn't need to come back in unless there was a problem, you know, for forever. And I'm like, okay, but my surgeon said, you know, these aren't intended to be lifetime. Yeah. And they're supposed to be replaced every 10 to 15 years. So, and anytime that you have a problem, obviously you want to go in and just make sure everything's okay. But like, I'm just planning on, you know, I'm going to have them replaced in every 10 to 15 years. You just have to plan for that. So, yeah, I guess it depends on your surgeon, but
yeah, that's good to know. Okay, so the next question I have to ask you is, how do you feel about your results? And you said you were,
I love them.
Perfect, right?
Well, yeah, they're not perfect, but like coming, you know, where I was before, I had so much more confidence, and like I love going shopping now for like bathing suits and like even like dresses and tops and things. Like I just fit into them better because I have that, you know, everything's made for like boobs.
Yeah.
And so it's been like such a positive thing for me and like for my marriage and my confidence. Yeah. So I totally am so glad that I did it. And I'm glad that I didn't wait, because I was like debating, should I wait until I'm totally done having kids, or
let's emphasize on that, because I know I've had people ask me that too, and you know, I mean, it would seem like logically to wait after you have kids, because you know, breastfeeding and pregnancy can affect the shape and look of them. So tell me why you decided to do them. Or did you probably not know you wanted more kids after?
I did. I knew I wanted at least one more. But it was kind of a timing thing, because we were having kind of a break. We had the 3 kids kind of close together, and then we just moved into a new house, and we were trying to like fix it up, and you know. Yeah. And I didn't want to have another baby for a while, and I knew I didn't. So it seemed like a good time to do it. And like we had the money, and so it was just kind of like, yeah, let's just do it. And also like I had talked to other women who had breastfed with implants, and they all said that they were able to breastfeed just fine. Yeah. So at that point I was like, okay, I feel good about that. That's
good. Well, yeah, I've talked to other women who've had breast augmentations, and some of them have never been able to breastfeed, and some of them have. So let's kind of talk about your experience, about your breastfeeding experience, and if you found that there was any complications, or like, I don't know, what advice do you give to women who have had augmentations and breastfeeding?
I would say if you're going to do it and you want to breastfeed in the future, you want to make sure that you do under the muscle. My brain is long. And do the incision not around the nipple. So you could do armpit incision, or mine is actually right under the fold, which I actually love it. I can't even see it
unless now that they've settled down.
Yeah, right. If you're looking up from underneath, then you could see them, but like they just kind of are hidden right here. So, and that doesn't affect. They don't have to cut into any tissue around the nipple, and so it's like the least likely to affect breastfeeding.
Yeah, because last week, if you tuned in last week, we had my friend Shelly come in, and she talked about her breast reduction, and one of the things that she mentioned is that when they do breast reductions, they try to keep the nipple attached at all times, because if you detach it, you can cause problems like not be able to breastfeed in your milk ducts and stuff like that. So so that's good to know that if you do want to breastfeed, maybe ask your doctor. I mean, I guess your doctor is the ultimate one to tell you whether or not he thinks under or over the muscle is going to be best for you.
Yeah.
I'm guessing.
Yeah. And because I breastfed before and now since, I can kind of compare the two.
Was there a difference?
So it's hard to say, you know, what is affected by the implants and what's affected by different babies, because babies are all different.
So different. Yeah.
And like I had one of my last 2 had a tongue tie, and when we fixed that, it was like so much better. So I don't know if maybe my 4th one had a tongue tie, but I never had a huge supply with him. I think it's possible that he had issues emptying the breast, because I had mastitis several times. This was the first time I breastfed after having the implants. So there were a few issues there, and then I got pregnant when he was only 6 months old, and so my milk dried up. So I don't know how much of that was hormones and how much could have been from having implants. I don't know. It's like really hard to know. But I do have one side that produces way more than the other, and that was the case before, and it's still the case. So I don't think that was really affected by them. The only thing is that I have a hard time getting a letdown on my right side, and I think it may be because I have reduced sensation from the surgery. So that's something to know. Is that you could have, even when they don't surgically alter the nipples at all, you can have reduced sensation. And I had probably around the nipple and like underneath the nipple, I had like maybe 50% reduced, and then of got some of it back. So I would say like maybe 30% reduced from where it was before.
So kind of talk more about that if you don't mind. Like, so do you like it doesn't get as hard, are they always hard, or do they?
No, they're not always hard.
Do they, like if you touch them, you don't feel them as much? Like kind of
it's just like what I feel. So, and like they were overly sensitive before. And so I actually don't mind the reduced sensation, but I think that may be why I have a hard time getting a letdown on the one side. That makes sense. So the other side kind of makes up for that. But like I said, I've always had a lower supply on the right side for some weird reason.
We have a question from LK409. She says, what was your recovery like with kids? How long did you need help for? That's a really good question, because if you have kids, it's like having, I guess it's like having a baby. It's like, yeah. So tell us about that. What was it like?
It wasn't too bad. My husband took, I think, I want to say 2 days off work, and then we had a weekend. And so he did all the lifting. I had I think it was 2 at the time. 3. He was 3. And he's pretty heavy, like 30 pounds or something. And so I didn't lift him, and that was sad when he would come up to me and want me to carry him. And I'm like, no, I'm sorry, I can't carry you. But that only lasted a few weeks. And like, I could lift him like into my lap after maybe a week and like read him a story, but like if he would lean back against me, that was kind of painful. So I'd put like a pillow. But yeah, after the first couple weeks, it really was not an issue anymore.
That's good.
Yeah.
So it's doable. I mean, you definitely probably want help.
Yeah, for the first few days you need help. Yeah, somebody there all the time. Yeah. Or to take your kids.
So you probably recommend doing it like on a Thursday or...
Yes, I did it on a Thursday.
Thursday night,
Thursday,
Friday,
and then we
have
a
weekend.
Yeah.
Or do it over before a holiday or...
Yeah, and it was like the week before Thanksgiving.
Oh.
But then my family was like, oh, surprise, we're coming to visit you for Thanksgiving, so make sure... And that's what I told my mom. I was like, okay, well, I have to tell you something.
Is that how you told your mom?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, what did she say?
You're coming for Thanksgiving.
So yeah, that's so before we went live, I was talking to Fiona kind of about, tell us about that. Tell us about how you didn't tell everybody at the beginning.
No, I told a lot of my friends that I was going to be doing it, but not my family, just because I was nervous about how they would like respond. And so I kind of told my mom because I had to, because she was coming for Thanksgiving. And her response was, I'm sorry. And I was like, sorry for what?
Was this after the fact that you had it, right?
No, this is before, because they were going to be coming for Thanksgiving, and I needed her to know that I wasn't going to be able to do a lot. So I didn't know if she meant like, I'm sorry because I inherited her flat chest, or I'm sorry because you're doing that. I don't know. But then like after, and you know what? I have to say, I think when you tell people that you're getting this surgery, in their mind, this is what they think. Dolly Parton.
Yeah.
They're like, my daughter's going to come.
Or like porn boobs.
Yes. She's going to come out of the surgery looking like, and they don't know, like, that you can have really natural looking breasts. And so when she saw me after I got the surgery, she was like, oh, because it looks natural. Yeah, and I always worn padded bras. And so, I mean, most people didn't even know because I don't wear like low cut shirts and so like, it was just like, I was replacing the padding with like
something real. Yeah.
So, like, it just was, So, and I think that's kind of why people, like, some people take it kind of, like, hard, is they're like, wait, you're going to do that? And they think I'm going to come out of there looking like triple D, F, whatever, I don't know. But, it's not like that at all.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people, like, didn't even know. And so when I mention it to them, they're very surprised,
Yeah, I was told her when she came here, I was like, oh, I would have not known, but just by looking at you. Because, sometimes, it's funny, I hate to admit this, but I have a pretty good eye for
implants.
Yeah, like I'm pretty good at not saying it's bad, but I can tell like some. I mean, I feel like if I was ever to get augmentation, I would want to like natural. I don't want people to know that I've went from nothing to humongous boobs. And so, but I feel like there's some women, that go a little bit bigger than probably what I would go for, because I feel like. It's all kind of depends on your body type. I feel like there's some women that get augmentation and they look amazing. They look great. There's some women that get them a little bit too big, and it can actually make women look a little bit heavier. Yeah. And because they're so full. Yeah. But like I said, it just depends. I mean, that's more on the extreme cases. I have a couple ladies I know that I won't mention their names because that's not nice. But I can tell.
Call them out.
I'm not gonna do that. No, that's not nice. But I can tell because they look abnormally big, like they don't look natural. So, but like I said, if that makes them happy, that's great. Like, right. There's no shame in that at all. So, one thing I wanted to say real quick is one thing that I get asked a ton is, from a bra fitter's perspective, what do you do? What do you recommend on sizing wise? Because a lot of what this is what always happens when I fit women who've been augmented. Mm-hmm. They come in, they say, oh, like I was an A, and now my doctor said I would be like a D, and then I fit them, and they're like a G or H afterwards. And they freak out, and they are upset, and they're like, I didn't want to be this big.
Yeah.
And why am I an H now, and I was supposed to be a D? Well, the thing that women have to realize is that doctors don't go off cup sizes when they do the augmentation. They go off CCs, which means cubic centimeters. Mm-hmm. And so it's a volume measurement. So what I recommend women to do, if you want to know, if you just want to know, what, how much cc's you want to get for you and the equivalent to the bra cup size that it's going to be, is go to a bra store and pick out a cup size that you really like and bring it into your appointment and say, doctor, this is the cup size that I want to be. And then he can help figure out how many cc's that's going to be to make it that size, your breast that size. So therefore, when you go get fitted, you're not freaking out and shocked by what size you actually are, because then he can tell you how many cc's that's going to be to equal that cup size. So, but the other thing I want to mention real quick is another thing that's really common is that women don't realize is that your band size makes a huge difference in what cup size you're going to be. So I'm excited because I'm going to fit Fiona after this, and I'm excited to see, because she told me that what size you're
I'm wearing a 36D.
And I told her, I'm pretty sure that's not your size. So I'm excited to fit her to tell, and maybe what I'll do is afterwards we'll post a picture and I'll tell you guys what size she is. But yeah, I'm excited to see what actual real size she is, because I was like, I don't think you're a D. So, and that's the other thing is, your band size makes a huge difference in what cup size you are. So the smaller around you are in the band size, the smaller the cup sizes are. So if you get augmented, you're going to have to go up more cup sizes. And so that's why people are like, well, why am I a G or an H? And that's the reason why. So I just wanted to kind of clarify that, because I get a lot of questions about that, and I wanted to explain that. So, okay, so the other question I have to ask you is, how much did your surgery cost? Because that's another thing, a huge question people ask is, how much does it cost?
Well, I paid $5,200 for my surgery. That was 3 years ago. And Utah is one of the lowest cost places to get, people fly here because it's so affordable here. And I don't know why. Maybe it's because we're cheap, or I don't know why that is. Probably. But $5,200.
That's a good, and I've heard people, it ranges from $4,000 to about $6,000. I think it depends on what implants you use, what doctor you use, and those are all, I can hear my son with the bubble machine. And we're going to have another guest here. Hi, Reno. Sorry, we'll have my son here for a second. Do you want to say hi? Hold on. Want to say hi for a second? Reno wants to say hi. One day he's going to appreciate being a part of our boob talk, huh? We actually should call these boob talks.
Yeah.
I should totally name these boob talks. Anyway. Okay, Rena, can you go back and watch your show? Let me go put it back. Hold on. Sorry. This is what happens on Facebook Live. Or Instagram Live.
Should I do some waiting music?
Yeah,
intermission?
Hold on. Rena, you gotta sit and watch your show.
So awkward.
Hello. Does anybody have questions?
No.
Dang it.
Good time for a question.
Hold on. Ask him this.
Pop her out.
Hold on.
He picks the loudest toy and brings it in.
We're almost done right now. Stay here and we'll be done in just a minute, okay? Okay. Sorry about that. Real mom life here. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're talking about how much breast augmentation costs. So yours was $5,200. Mm-hmm. So when you paid that, did you have to pay that all up front? Did they do payment plans? Did they give discounts? How did that work?
They gave me a discount for booking my surgery date on the same day as my consultation.
Oh, really?
I think it was a $200 discount.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So if you get there and you're like, I want to do this, then a lot of times they'll give you a discount.
You went in there and that was the first time you ever met him?
Uh-huh.
Really?
But I had met with another doctor. I do recommend meeting with at least a couple of different doctors.
I was thinking I kind of shop around and see which one. It's was personality important for you, when it came to your doctor?
Yeah, and he just... I liked the things he was saying about, he has size restrictions, so he tries to go with your natural breast width. There was one doctor that I met with who was like, any size you want. It's pick a size, And that was kind of I was a little nervous about that. And so I went to this other guy and he was like, he measured my breast width and he was like, okay, yeah, you can go within this range. And I was like, okay, so he's definitely not letting people just do whatever they want because he wants you to have a good, natural looking result and not have a lot of complications.
Yeah, we don't want to look like Dolly Parton.
No.
And I love Dolly Parton, but I don't know how she goes through those. Like, and I've heard that those are real.
Oh my god.
I've heard that those are real, and I've heard. I mean, I don't know if this is true, so this is probably all false. But I've heard that she's had like 2 breast reductions, and they keep growing back.
No way.
Yeah, I don't know. That might tell me if anybody knows the truth.
I need this magic growing breast problem.
Yeah, I don't know. If she found what causes that, she'd probably be even more rich. Yeah, and then the other question I have is, who was your doctor?
So Richard Fryer, he's in Draper, and his practice is called Premier Plastic Surgery. And he's like, if you go on, so one of the websites that I used to do my research was called realself.com.
Okay.
And lots of women are on there thinking about, and then they share their story and their updates and everything, and they review doctors.
Oh,
so
cool.
I read all the reviews of doctors I was thinking about, and he had just super high reviews. Everybody loves him, so that was another
That's awesome.
deciding factor.
So Dr. Fryer in Draper is the one that did her surgery. Yes. Okay. And then let's see. So how did you do? So tell us about the process about how you kind of talked about how the doctor measured you. Mm-hmm. Tell us about how you decided what size you wanted to be and the shape and the silicone or saline.
Yeah. So my doctor pretty much only does silicone, and the reasoning is because they look more natural. They have less complications.
And is the silicone like the shiny? Is it more the matte? Or, I don't know.
Well, mine are not textured. Mine are smooth, so shinier.
Oh, okay.
But you can get textured as well, but he doesn't do textured.
Okay.
And he has his reasoning for why he uses the implants that he does, and I kind of trusted him with that, and I was like, if this is going to be the best implant. But, like, this is a funny story. I had a visiting teaching companion. I'm LDS, so if you don't know what visiting teachers are, people in our church, and we go visit each other.
Google
visiting teachers. So it's women visiting women, and so I had my partner that I go with, and I had the lady that we were visiting, and they both had them. One had saline and one had silicone, and so I actually got to feel like
that's awesome.
how they feel.
Yeah, and you're like,
they both didn't care. I was like, okay, I want to feel because I want to know, if I'm making the right choice. And I was kind of turned off to saline already because of how little breast tissue I had, and I was worried that it would look ripply. So that kind of was the deciding factor for me. So I was like, that does feel more natural. I mean, I don't know what a natural breast really feels like. But
so that's a really good tip to go is go around and just feeling people's boobs. Yeah. I mean, you might want to know them and just ask.
You've got enough friends,
ask them. Because I feel like if people are gonna pay money to do them, they're gonna be proud to help other people out too. So just ask your friends or family who've had it.
Yeah,
touch your boobs. That's a good idea.
Yeah, so that helped me decide between that, and then what a lot of people don't realize is that there's different widths. So you can get a more narrow profile implant or a wider implant, and that will depend on the width of your breast. And so the base width of your implant cannot be wider than the base width of your own breast. Otherwise, you're going to have more complications. You might have like a uniboob kind of look, or they come out in your armpits and look kind of funny.
That makes sense.
So
because based off your body, some women are more petite, and that's good. I didn't realize that they do that. That's really good to know.
Yeah. So, and I guess not all doctors do, because the first doctor I met with didn't tell me anything about any of this. He was just like,
"Oh, really?
Here, start trying on implants and see which ones you like."
Let's see. Sorry, I have it. So you guys gotta realize that I have like tape and string. Oops, I don't want to do it. I have tape and string holding. Sorry, I gotta hold that. Boob jobs equal lures of boob gravity.
Yeah,
I love it.
Okay, so anyway, when he measured me to get the volume that I wanted, the size that I wanted, I had to go with a ultra high profile, which is the narrowest width of implant with the most forward volume. Okay. And that scares people a lot when it scared me when I heard ultra high profile. I was like, no, I don't want to look like baseballs on my chest poking out, and he was like, because of your body, that's what's going to look the most natural on you. Now, you could go with a wider, base if you wanted less volume, and I was not willing to sacrifice that. So I was like, no, I want to be this big. So I went with the ultra high profile, which on me does not look unnatural. It looks like write what it should look like. So that is a big thing to consider. You don't want to have an implant that's too wide or too narrow for your body.
So these are all really good questions to ask your doctor. Let me fix this. It's bugging me. It's not. Sorry, I'm using tape and string to hold my phone up to my. Oh crap! Reynolds coming again. Well, is there any other questions that people have before we wrap up and before my son comes in, makes a lot of noise? If you have questions and if you missed this, I'm going to post a picture of us, and if you have questions, I'm going to have Fiona go back and answer your questions. But
I have a couple more things I want to say.
Yeah, please do.
So the first thing is that if you want to see my before and afters and read my story, just message me at Fiona Judd.
Wow, that's awesome.
And I will show you, like, I have them on a website. It's on the Real Self website. They're under an anonymous name, so I'll tell you what it is so you can look them up. I just want to make sure you're a real person, not a creeper. So.
Yeah, we don't want creepers.
And then the other thing I wanted to say is that...
Sorry,
okay.
I'm talking.
I would, if I were, one of the things that I did that I'm glad I did is look into removal as well. Like, research removal. Why are people having their implants removed? What is their reasoning? Because that was one thing I was nervous about. You hear those stories about, like, oh, breast implants make you sick. And I was like, well, is there some validity to that? So I started researching, removals too. And what I found was that a lot of the removals were just because she didn't like them, or she felt pressured into getting them for somebody else, maybe for a job or by her partner. Whereas the women who did it for themselves, and they were more likely to keep them. So it was like pretty rare to find a story where they were removed because someone felt like they were making them sick. So just research that, and read stories of women who've had them removed, so that way you know both sides of the story.
And Rena wants to be a part of this too. Is there anything else that you wanted to say, Markel? That's Markel Boo. Fiona, was there anything else that you wanted to say?
No, I don't think so.
Was there anything?
Yeah, that's it.
Well, I wanted to thank Fiona for coming up here and joining me on this Instagram Live, and Reno for disrupting it. But I learned a ton. I didn't know half the things that she talked about today, so I'm really excited that she came, and thank you so much, Fiona. I really appreciate it. And if you guys have questions, you can leave a comment, and I'll make sure that Fiona goes and answers that. And like I said, what she says, make sure you message her, and she will send you the link to look at her before and after pictures of her breast augmentation. So, thank you so much, guys. And I hope you guys have a great Thursday afternoon. And we'll see you guys later. Want to say bye right now? Say bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Make sure I save this video. Hold on.
Oh, yeah, you don't.
Don't want to not save it. I'll be pretty sad.
Bye.